All right, everybody, welcome back to my channel, Retrocengo, here together with all American porn star Chris, Kaneda's Pinball Podcast. How are you, Chris?
Yeah, I'm a little hungover, but I'm excited. It's been a while since we've done this, so I'm enjoying this. I wish I could wake up every morning at 8 a.m. and have retro Django in my life.
Retro Jerko.
Yeah,
You was about to say that.
yeah.
Did you hear that?
I love. Yeah, I heard it. Yeah, we got sound effects now. Whole new show.
Oh, yeah, baby. I'm learning. Chris, we're going to talk about the TWIPYs to the audience. I'm not 100% in on what's going on, but Chris is.
Yeah.
Chris hit me up yesterday, very early in the morning. Look at what's going on. And Chris was on fire, and I'm a fireman for 2 years. I put the fire down, so he was, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
But
I'm
Chris,
excited.
man, you have won the last 6 years, right, for Best Pinball Podcaster, six
Yep.
TWIPY Award.
Yep.
Yeah. And the thing is, you cannot win anything anymore.
Nope. Nope.
No.
Nobody who makes pinball content can win or be recognized as of yesterday. There's still room for them to change their mind before the voting opens, but we'll see.
Okay. So what happened? Let's hear your side of the story. What happened? What's going on?
Well, I mean, it's been about like the last 2 months, right? Ever since Expo, when the media mixer got announced, and I was like, "Hey, I'd love to come," and they were like, "You can't come," which annoyed me, considering that I make a lot of pinball media. Um, and
Wait,
so
why couldn't you come?
well, they just told me they didn't want me there. And I think the reason why is there was some back and forth with me and Don was going, and other people who were going to be attending might not have felt comfortable with my presence. So I get it. Like, I understand it. I understand it all. Um, I wasn't even going to Expo, Jenkins. Like, I was literally just like, all I was looking for was like, all right, so like, but why can't I go? Because I've always, when we get to events, and you saw what happened with Jersey Jack last weekend, I've been to different shows. Whenever we get together in person, there is no drama. There's not
No.
fights. There's not altercations. It's not like this contentious thing. So, for this new guy to be recognizing pinball media who's new to the pinball space to say, like, hey, like, you can't come. And not just that, he was like, I'm going to call the cops if you show up. And I'm like, what? Like, it's really that bad? Like, you're going to have me police escorted out of the building? So, okay, but all that happened like 2 months ago, right? That nothing to do with the Twippies, right? It's just Pinball Expo. And then from
2 seconds.
there,
2 seconds. 2 seconds to make
yep.
everything clear. So you're saying, you're talking about Colin. We all know that. So
Mhm.
you're saying now that Colin said you couldn't come because of other people said to Colin you shouldn't come. So it's not Colin's
Yeah, he
fault
was
then.
no, it wasn't him. He was like, Chris, he was a listener of the show. He's like, Chris, I personally like
Okay.
you. Like, your presence there, though, would
Okay.
upset others. And because, and like, I totally get it, right? It doesn't mean I'm like, I wasn't annoyed by it, and I'm allowed to be annoyed the same way he's allowed to say you're not invited. Like, it's a private party. Like, I totally get it.
So,
And
so at this time, it has nothing to do with Colin. It's not his fault,
it's not his
right?
fault. It's not his
Okay.
fault. I
Okay. Okay.
totally understand, and then but from there, this is the moment, right? There's a moment in which, as a previous fireman, right, when
Yeah.
a fire can start to go out, or a fire can start to elevate and increase.
Oh,
And so,
yeah.
what happened after that, though, was like a targeted thing because I tried to call Colin and get him live on my Facebook to answer why Kaneda, I'm like, I just wanted him to, like, hold him to his decision. But then there was an article put out like the next day, and it was like, here are the best pinball podcasters, right? And they left me off the list. So it was like, all right, instead of de-escalating things, there then was like an effort to start to create a narrative in which I didn't exist as a content creator. And that started with that article. Then it started with the meltdown article where all my private messages are being shared. We could talk about
What?
whether, yeah, like, yeah, it's in the Kineticist page, like this page about positivity, which is fine. Again, I don't disown anything I said. I stand behind all of it. Um, So, but this is all like 2 months ago, right? So all of this could have just gone away, like let the show go on. He has nothing to do with the TWIPYs. He did not create the TWIPYs. He was never a part of the show. I never saw the Kineticists even voted for, right, with website. So
Okay.
then we get to the whole just randomly they remove me from the database, right? So every single pinball content creator on TWIP there's a database with your reviews, your score, and just so
Yeah.
people can it's like a way to aggregate who's doing what. And then they also said we're going to be using the database as who's eligible for the TWIPYs. So when you can imagine when I saw the removal,
Oh,
I was like,
yeah.
oh, so they're just gonna erase me from the history books. And then but then Will still was like, Will, who runs the TWIPYs, was like, you're still gonna be eligible. Okay.
How?
So I think they were just gonna have me in the eligibility in the drop down, which is fine. And then from there, right, there really was
Wait.
not anything else that happened other than me making those funny 1 minute 5 free shows just to meet that ridiculous criteria to be eligible. You need 5 free shows.
Chris, we need your reaction. What did you do when they removed you from that list first? We
Well, I
can't
mean,
just jump over
yeah,
things.
yeah, yeah,
What did
totally.
you
Like,
do?
I mean, my reaction was just, I was just again just annoyed and perturbed that someone can come into the hobby brand new, right? Been in it for 2 years and just try to erase. I've been working for 10 years on content, Jengus. 34
Is Colin 2 years in this
2
hobby?
years, 2 years. 34,000 minutes of content I've created, over 2 million downloads of the show. And you just don't get to come in and say you're gone, like, because I don't like you. And that's the thing is the Twippies or This Week in Pinball, their whole foundation was always like, this is the People's Choice Awards. This is what the people
Yeah.
like. So even if you don't like me, you don't get the right to erase, somebody. And that's always been at the very foundation of this. That's the issue. And it's not about whether you like Kaneda or not, or whether you think I'm toxic or not, or some terrorist or not. That all of that is irrelevant. It's just the
Terrorist,
very
what's going on,
principle
man?
of like, does he exist? Do people like his show? And shouldn't he be part of a list of who's making content in pinball? And that's and again, it just kept snowballing. And through all of this, Jengus, I mean this when I say this. If Will or Colin just picked up the phone and we just had a conversation, we all would have worked it out. Like there never was any attempt.
But wait. I need to defend Colin here because Colin or one of you guys, did talk about talking on the phone with each other. You agreed on that?
Yep.
And then you
I
wanted to
called him live.
talk
I
with
called him
him
live.
on a live
I called him live.
audience.
So what?
Yeah.
I called him live.
And that's
I didn't say how I was going to call him. I called him live.
but that's a dick move. It's exactly the
Totally,
same
totally,
thing I did against you. It was a dick move.
totally. But you called me live. I picked up, and we had a good talk, and here we are. Here we
Yeah,
are. Like
but
resolution. Look, it would have resolved itself. It would have resolved itself.
but Chris, you are one guy, I'm one guy, and Colin is different. Maybe he was like he didn't
Yeah, he's
want
not.
to do it
I
live,
don't think
you
he
know?
wants any. I don't think he wants any of this, and it's fine. Like he's not. I don't think he's cut out for this level of drama, to be honest. That it's stupid to begin with. And he's just making it worse. That's my thing, that I feel bad for both of them because they legitimately are just making it worse, because the solution is just to let the show go on. Just let the people vote, let the chips fall where they may. And even if they fall in an area that you don't agree with, that's okay. That's
Before
it.
we come there, before we come there,
Yeah.
tell what more happened. After that, a few
After
days,
that, yeah, there was the
3 days
articles.
later,
I did my 5 free shows that were making
yeah.
fun of them. Because also, and the reason why, Jeng, is I don't think a show should have to be free to be eligible. And I'll tell you why. Are the pinball machines free? No. Is any
No,
movie we go
no.
watch free where that wins an Academy Award? Is any album free when no, you have to pay for Spotify? Like, so nothing in life that we give any trophy to is free. And again, that rule was put in place
When
targeting
when you
only
put
my
it out,
show.
yeah, when you put it like that, I do understand. But the reason they say it or he says it, that's because everybody should be able to listen. But
Well, but let's use their own logic, right? If it's simply people voting and I'm not free and I'm behind a paywall, let's say I'm 100% behind the paywall, then I shouldn't even be able, under their criteria, I wouldn't win because I'm not free, right? Most people don't have access to my show. But what makes them so annoyed is that I have enough people behind the paywall. If they all just voted Kaneda, we win easily. Like the votes easily, the data doesn't lie. Then, as they say, the numbers don't lie. If right now I have 684 subscribers. If all of them voted, we win easily because in the history of the Twippies, that's
is
enough.
that paying patrons
Yeah,
or just
paid.
supporters?
Those are paid.
Paying.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, that's enough. That's more than enough needed to win. And look, it's fine. None of this was ever like it's what's weird, Jeng, is that we're even having this conversation for 6 years. This show just went on. Now, arguably, I think the show's gotten worse, right? Since Zach and Greg haven't hosted it. Like it's just been there's been technical difficulties, there's been bad audio, there's been, like it's been a mixed bag, the Twippies. Like,
But it
but
was awesome when
it's
Zeg and
awesome.
Greg did it. It was awesome. I loved it.
No, I've
So
always
sad
said it.
they.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was like they haven't reached those heights again, and so, but what
exactly.
people did like about it, I think, what were the content creator categories? Like it mixed it up, it made it
Yeah,
interesting, and now you're just
yeah.
gonna have the manufacturers don't care about this. They don't promote it. They don't do anything. It was always the content creators that celebrated and got people into it and got them to vote, and I think that's gone now, like because of what they did yesterday.
Also for the people that was there or us that viewed it from home on live and stuff like that. For the last 2 years, 3 years, the podcaster awards and all that, it came at the end of the
Yeah,
show
because
because
it was
everybody was just waiting for that. Because other than that, it's always Stern winning this, Stern winning that. I don't think that Stern doesn't or manufacturers doesn't care. It's cool to win awards, but the fun part was all the content creator stuff, and that's gone now,
yeah,
totally gone. How
yeah.
would you feel if they just said, "We messed up. We're gonna open this up again"?
Yeah, no, I think that's all they need to do. And I said this on my live. I have no animosity towards Will and Colin. Like they made a decision. It's their thing to run. But also in life, and I know this better than anybody, when you make a mistake, all you got to do is say, "Hey, like we did something. We made a move. It's not really working out. Like we're gonna go back and just let everybody vote for who they want, and all of it goes away." Like that's the thing. It's like people keep sending me yesterday all the Facebook. Like everyone's going after them. Like I don't know why they want that. Like, what? The response has been a few things. It's either like, this is a stupid move. This is a stupid award. It's podcasting, narcissism is stupid. Like, there's nothing positive coming out of it. Right. And, I think everyone just wants to get back to being like, yes, it's silly that all these grown men are getting a $5 trophy, right? Like making pinball content. Like it's called the Twippies. Like nobody on planet Earth even understands or recognizes or cares. But in our little subculture, it's a really fun evening,
Yeah,
and I've been
yeah,
to every one, whether it was virtually or in person. I've always been
yeah,
there. And I think Colin should go back and watch my acceptance speeches and watch the crowd reaction, both good and bad. It's good. Like it's good for pinball to allow
yeah,
representation and to allow people to say, hey, this is who I like, whether it's a designer or a podcaster or an artist, to remove people's ability, right? To say, here's who I enjoy. And this is how I enjoy the hobby. And that's the thing, is once you get down this road of I'm going to tell you what's positive and we're only going to focus on what's positive. And if your definition of positive doesn't match up with mine, I'm going to erase what the positive things you enjoy in the hobby. And that's what's happened. And look, it's not just Colin or Will. There's other podcasters who have been saying terrible things about me, and terrible things. Like I'm an online terrorist, apparently, and a terrorist, Jengus. And it's
What?
like,
Who says that?
yeah, that's what I heard. I was called by the loser kid, and I don't even know why they're on this hill fighting it all of a sudden. I didn't. For the record, there's been nothing I've said to them that have warranted this response. They are simply fighting on behalf of Will and Colin. And it's
Okay.
ironic because the very people that are trying to like change the TWIPYs are people that hate it to begin with. Like they don't even like it. They don't support it. They don't ask for votes. They think it's stupid. And then so then the very organizers of it
You
erase.
you can't say they. You can't. Who are you talking
Yeah,
about?
no, like Loser Kid doesn't like it. The Zach and
What?
Dennis don't like it. I mean, they openly say they don't like it, and it's fine. And again, they're allowed to say like, Zach and Dennis are like, take us off the ballot. Like they will do anything they can, not to be on the ballot, which is fine. It's totally their prerogative, and I understand their stance on it. They had, and I don't know if they're doing their award show or not this year, but
I
but
hope. I hope
those are
they
the people
do.
that are now saying we need to get rid of the media category, right? It's created this drama and it's ruining what is supposed to. So you're listening to people who don't even want to be a part of the show. That
But
is really
Chris,
weird.
I know Zach had nothing to do with this. Zach does not want the TWIPIes to be removing the content creators. So let's just put that
No,
in there.
yeah, well, he said on his last show, I thought that he created that category and now he thinks it was a mistake. So I think he does want it removed.
Okay, I haven't heard that, but I just okay. This is just my understanding that Zach had nothing to do with this
Well, he
move.
didn't have anything to do with this decision. Of course not. I mean,
Yeah,
this was all
that's what I'm.
yeah, of course not. I mean, this was all 100. I mean, Will is saying it was 100% his decision. It wasn't even Colin's decision. It was 100% Will. But he did say in his press release, if we'll call it that, that he consulted the committee and other members of the pinball community. I don't know who that was. I mean, we know who's on the committee. So look, so in
Well,
my mind, this small little echo chamber made a decision about what they deemed was right for the community and the people. And you can see by the response, Cengiz, does it feel like they captured what people want, or does it feel like they just shoved what they wanted down everybody's throat?
people are angry. It's. I mean, I have been reading some of the comments today. It's like putting more and more gasoline on that fire. It's crazy. I am friend with Colin. I did reach out to him. I'm talking to him just like I'm talking to you. And I said, Colin, I'm sad about this move. I am sad about this. I'm a content creator also. I know I will never win because of Zach is the best YouTuber, but still it's fun to be a part of this.
Yeah.
This was the first year I should say, hey, vote for me. I'm going to try this for the first time. It was fun for me. I was looking forward to it. So I said to Colin, buddy, I'm sad about this. I think it's a wrong move. You should rethink this, and you should reconsider. Just open this category up again. And he ensured that this decision was not Colin's decision only. It's a committee. I don't know who they are, how many they are. So it's not Colin only.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
but here's the thing. This is the issue with it
And
all.
Chris,
But here,
and he
Cengiz,
said
here's the
to
issue with
me,
it all. Here's
okay,
the issue with it all. He's the only he's the only new thing that's happened to the TWIPYs in the last 6 years, right? Will's been a part of it with Jeff Patterson from the beginning. So, if you just use normal logic, why is all this happening now? Why? Like I haven't changed. As people always say, this dude will never change. He's going to remain his narcissistic, egomaniac, self-serving, everything, every terrible thing people say about me, all of the behavioral things they say about me. Like, have I really changed? I think I've become a little bit more controlled, and I'm working on myself as always. I'm an imperfect human being. I haven't changed. The show's better than it's ever been. That's why we have so many subscribers. So the only thing that's new is Colin coming into the picture, and the Kinetis acquiring TWIP. That's why it was Colin who removed me from the database. It was Colin who wrote all those stories. Here are the best pinball pot. So he got what he wanted, right? It's like I look at it. My analogy is
was
like
it
it's like
Colin only that wrote the stories? Are you sure
yeah,
about
of
that?
course. Look, it feels a little bit like I get it. Like he wants to sort of you know go against me and say this is what we need is more positivity, and he's toxic, and I'm going to do this, 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 and this. And look, you got a lot of people involved in that narrative, right? It's like everyone
Yeah.
who was in that story was sharing it. I mean, I saw all this stuff. Oh yeah, look, I'm on the hey, look, mom, I'm on the best of list. And it's like, well, who's actually the best? Well, he's not mentioned. So it's like it's just funny. Okay, so what I thought would happen though through all of this nonsense, because it's nonsense, that they would still just let the show go on. You know what I'm saying, Jang? Is like, I really can't believe what they did yesterday. Like they literally, and they didn't just remove me, everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody who makes
Yeah.
content gets
Yeah.
punished because of me? Like that, like, I don't even think who thinks that's cool?
You destroyed the Twippies, man.
No, but like,
You
but
took 50% of the fun out of it.
well, it was half the awards, right? And whenever
Yeah.
you go to the show, it was always fun to see, the different people getting up there and no, not for nothing. I see this on Pinside. Like people say, like, oh, content creating is easy and there's no hard work that go and Carrie
What?
Hardy
Who
put up
says
that
that?
great clip of oh, did I just lose you?
No, no.
Oh,
I
okay.
can hear
Sorry.
you.
He
I
put
can
up
see
that
you.
great clip of, I think Zach and Greg nailed it when they talk about how much work does go into making a website like Naps Arcade or doing a podcast 3 times a week and a Facebook Live for 90 minutes. And, the amount of effort you have to spend reading up on stuff, trying, like, it's
Yeah.
editing. Like, yes, it's all,
Yeah.
it's what people see is just the tip of the iceberg. There's so much more
Exactly.
under the
Yeah.
line that you have to do.
Yeah.
And look, and when it looks easy, it's because of all the hard work. Like, when you put in the hard work, you make it look easy for everybody else, and that's why they enjoy it. And
So
and
much
and by
time
hard
we
work, I
lose
mean
from
too, like
our families.
yeah, and also
Yeah.
like to get a show to be 20 minutes long, and the way my show is now, it's because of 10 years of refining it. Like it's if you go back and listen to my first show, it's terrible. Like it's terrible.
Chris, I just want to add something in. You said that you never change and blah, blah, blah for 2 minutes ago. You have changed. For the last 2 weeks, we have been talking again. We haven't been talking that much this year. I blocked you. But that's gone. We have been talking for the last 2 weeks, and you have been much more positive. You have kept your promise until now, so that's cool. Last Saturday, you were at that automated show where you were together with Jersey Jack, Mr. Jack, Todd Talkie. It was a positive, really cool show. So just keep it that
Yeah.
way, and I will be here. Everybody will enjoy it. So you have changed. And when this happened, when you got deleted, you were angry. I'm so happy that you hit me up instead of going live. And when
Yeah.
this got
Well,
deleted, I'm happy. The early morning, it was like what, 5 o'clock in the morning.
4 a.m.
You
4
hit
a.m.
me up, yeah. So hit me up when you're on fire, okay? So we
Well,
can have this
you know,
conversation. Don't go
it's
live.
totally. And here's the thing too, is like people, I get it. Like I went through a lot last year. Maybe sometimes I
Yeah,
self-medicated with some booze and some whatnot just to, get through some of the trauma that we experienced. But
yeah.
I don't and let me ask you a question. Yes. And my wife's advice is the same as your advice. Don't drink and live, And it's like that is the best advice ever. And but what's weird about, and I read this on Pinside, when some people are like, well, when he drinks and he gets drunk, then his true colors come out. And it's like, I don't know, like I I live in a world in which I think when you go overboard, that's not who you are. That's really the booze talking. And so, like, I get it, and it's no excuse for the
Chris,
behavior by any means.
when
But
you drink a lot, you are amazing. When you are on fire, you are amazing. I love to talk to you when you're like that. The
yeah,
thing is, when it's personal attack, then you
it's
go
terrible. It's
overboard.
terrible.
Yeah,
No, it's
that
terrible.
that
And
kills
I've
it.
never woken
Yeah,
up the day after and felt good about any of that.
yeah.
So, and as I
That's
said to
what
you,
I'm
like,
talking about.
I'm not poking anymore. Like after yesterday,
Exactly.
I told everybody, like, don't do anything to Colin and Will. Like don't be mean to loser kid. Like all that anger, it's not worth it. Like I think
Oh,
cooler heads will prevail. If they don't, it's fine. As I said yesterday, I'm thinking of having a party at Perry's Steakhouse that will take place exactly when the Twippies take place Saturday night. So we're gonna have our own media mixer. We're gonna have our own party, and we're gonna have our own fun at Texas Pinball Festival because I don't think Ed and Kim I don't think they should lose me going to the show because, they wanted to erase the categories. And I think they put on a great show. And I this is why this move is such a dark stain on everything, is the collateral damage to it is terrible. Like, everyone who loved voting for their favorite content creators now loses. Kim and Ed, who host the TWIPYs, now they don't have people excited to go sit in the audience because the show's been sort of corrupted. And and
Uh,
look at all the commentary yesterday. It's all
yeah,
stupid. It's all negative. Like, and Spooky Pinball just announced 2 new games. Let's talk about that. And it's
yeah,
like, that's
yeah.
why people follow my show. It's not to respond to other people's shows. It's like they want to hear my take on Spooky Pinball, doing two themes on one design again, and my take on Jaws rumors and my take on all this stuff. I heard people complaining about rumors. Now we're at the point now where people don't even want to talk about rumors. Like, what
What?
happened?
Why not? Why
Apparently,
not?
like, we should just wait, and it's disrespectful to the manufacturers. Why are people in bed with the manufacturers? Like, they're making millions of dollars, and we're spending those millions of dollars on games that do not have a higher bomb or tons of magic in them. And yet no one's allowed to say that. Like, you can't lift the play. Jenkins, you ever lift the playfield on some of
So
these modern games, compare them to games that were half the price and there's twice as much in it? You're not
all of them,
allowed to
I,
talk
I
like,
filmed them. All of them. I lift
yeah,
them up. All
you
of
know what I'm
them.
talking about, right? Like you lift the hood on a freaking Toad-In, right? Or an Indiana Jones, and those
Oh,
games were like
oh.
$1,700. And even if you do inflation, Twilight Zone's a good example. Even if you do inflation, those games should be $5,000 to $6,000 today. And you're like, oh, 15 grand for a bunch of lights. And we're supposed, yeah, just celebrate it. It's positive. It's stupid. It's stupid.
Well, this thing you just said about rumors, I don't know who's saying that, but to me, it sounds like then we shouldn't celebrate every time Naps Arcade puts out these awesome rumors that I enjoy reading almost daily. Then
Do you
we
guys
should just
remember?
ignore
Yeah. And do you
ignore.
remember Naps Arcade originally didn't do rumors? Jason was like, I'm just going to, I don't want to get into the speculative space. And the moment he switched, his site got twice as good because it's what we
I'm
want to talk about. We
I'm
want to be living and
loving
dreaming.
I'm loving the rumors at Jason Knapp's
It's
page.
great. And
It's
you know the thing about
awesome.
Naps Arcade, he gives everybody equal credit. Everybody.
Okay.
He is the most unbiased sort of deliverer of what's happening. And if it comes from Kaneda, if it comes from Zach, if it comes from Will, if it comes from Colin, if it comes from Jenkins, it doesn't matter. If it's newsworthy, he's going to share it, and
These
that's
are
that's why I love Naps Arcade now. It's the last remaining unbiased source of all you need to know, right? I really do believe that. Like, and I love his site because
yeah.
selfishly, it takes a lot of my work away from me because I can just read up on what's happening. I don't know how he gets his information. Like, it's like instantly. Like, this happens and it's up. Like, there's no delay. And that's why, like, this week in pinball, everybody knows this. It's irrelevant because it's no longer this week. Naps Arcade is this minute in pinball. This just happened. It's like real time. Why would it's not like this, oh, the week's over. Here's a newsletter that's old news. Like, no, Jason's like on it. And that's and
this
I and that's
this
my
minute
show
in
is the
pinball,
same
yeah.
way. 3 shows a week because I want to catch stuff as it's popping. Actually, 4
Yeah.
shows, if you consider the Facebook stuff.
And the Facebook, yeah, also. Okay, let's put a thing on this. I just want to talk to you about Spooky.
Yeah.
So you were like, "Are you gonna stay up?" And I did, and you said new game reveal, and I was like, "Oh, that, I'm so
Spooky
sorry."
calling you.
Yeah.
Spooky needs stuff.
Hey, I
Careful.
found Spooky was following me. I didn't know that. Hi guys. Yeah, well, I was up and it was like midnight. So next reveal, please do it 1 or 2 hours earlier, dear Spooky. And it wasn't a reveal. It was just 2-second clip, and we didn't see no game layout, no nothing. Don't do it like this.
Well, and
Show
well,
us.
and they're doing the reveal tomorrow, right? It's like Friday.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, like I don't, all right. And like
What
it's
do you
weird,
think
right? 'Cause,
about? We can talk about the themes. What do you think about the themes? Looney
um,
Tunes first.
yeah, it's funny, right? It's like you can't get polar opposite themes more than this. Looney Tunes and Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The funniest part is like, can you imagine ordering a Looney Tunes Bloodsucker edition?
No.
You know, it's like what? Look, I'm not into like the cult classic horror genre, right? So Texas Chainsaw, I've
Nah.
seen it. It's not a theme for me. Looney Tunes, I grew up watching Looney Tunes, but it's also not. Oh, what's that noise?
You're here. Noise, maybe my phone. Still
Oh,
noise.
oh, it's gone. Okay.
Okay.
I'm 47. Looney Tunes, it's like I don't. It's just not. Come on, like
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think it's a theme that a lot of grown men like want, and I am always a little bit perplexed by theme selection. I was Labyrinth. I felt the same way. It's like I get that these things are part of nostalgia, right, and they have their time and culture. I just don't know how sticky and relevant these things are to this buying demographic. Same way about Elton John, same way about Godfather, same way about Toy Story 4. It's just been a weird thing. And I think these are not take my money now themes. I also think, they still got to make some Scooby Doo's and like the timing. It's like everyone's just trying to get out in front of Jaws. I mean, that's clearly what's happening here between Elton John being revealed without it on the line. Now this. They're terrified of Keith Elwin. Everybody is.
Have you shared the upcoming on your podcast? Have you shared the
What? You're not
Stern
saying
Stern rumor?
what, that Jaws is coming out, or
No,
Journey,
the
or what?
no the Marvel Stern rumor.
Oh, no, I'm going to share it on today's
No.
show.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Now. Cool. Cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. So I was up late, went to sleep 1 o'clock, up 5 o'clock, 4 hours of sleep because of Spooky. So this morning, my son is about to be 13 next month, and I
We have a
said,
visitor.
Tunu,
Hold on, Jen, because we have a visitor.
oh, is it Killian? Where is he? Where is he? Let me
Killian,
see
get in
him.
here. Killian.
Killian!
Hey, buddy.
Oh, Killian, how are you? Hello. Oh, he's so sweet.
He's gone.
He
He's
just
gone.
ran.
Mom is getting a Coke. He's going to school. Hi, buddy.
Yeah.
Like honestly, he's wearing something that's a teaser for a spoiler about to come. Who are you? Who are you?
Did he say
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man?
They did, yeah.
Uh-oh, Chris.
Are you Spider-Man? Okay,
Yeah.
I believe it. Um,
Such a sweet kid. Okay, my story, okay.
yeah.
So my son's about to be 13, and I was like, look at this, Looney Tunes. And he was like, Looney Tunes, that old cartoon that nobody watches today? And I said, yeah. Okay, he really didn't care, and I don't care. And then I showed him Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And I was like, I don't know, this is not pinball. And he was like, Dad, that's because you're so old. You don't get it. And I was like, what do I do? He said, you're so old. Listen to it again. So we put it on the screen with big speakers, and he was like, "Listen to this teaser. You can hear that girl; she's afraid, and then you can hear that chainsaw, dun 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 dun, and all of a sudden, and he's just cutting her up, and she's screaming, 'This is awesome! This is awesome!' And my son just hyped me up. After our conversation this morning, I'm like, I want to see this game. I didn't care, but my son just hyped it up for me, man.
I mean, your
Listen
son's
to the
into
sound clip.
murdering women with chainsaws. I mean, it could just be you could be discovering something new. No, it's I don't know. Like, here's the weird part about designing a game where the theme isn't the design direction, because if you can make Looney Tunes out of the same design as Texas Chainsaw Massacre, then you're kind of generically designing a game in which maybe you have areas that you could swap out sculpts, and maybe some mechs. I think they might do more this time around than what they
Yeah,
did with
I hope.
Ultraman and Halloween. I don't think it's going to be
I
like
hope
exactly the
so.
same game. I think it's going to
Yeah.
be close, but I think there's going to be probably, areas in which the mechs are just different altogether. Like maybe one is a bookcase, or maybe one is this. Uh, Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it's
Also, sculpts. They're gonna have Looney Tunes around the playfield, and they're gonna have chainsaws on the other one.
I just picturing you. I just saw you say like Looney Tunes around the playfield. I'm like, we're like grown men. Like, what is this? Like, here's the thing. I think the market has changed a lot, and this is what I'm going to say on my show today. Is just the market's changed. I just don't think people are throwing 10 grand at these companies anymore. Just to throw
Maybe a
support.
price reduction. Maybe they'll reduce their prices a bit.
I don't think so. I mean, because remember, like a spooky with butter cabinet, with tax and everything, is like 12 grand. It's not cheap. Like these,
Oh,
you get a labyrinth with a topper, and you're almost at 13,000. So it's, again, like for that much money, you really have to not want to sell it, because the market is also like we see it like instantly. You open the box and you're losing $2,000 to $3,000 on all these games now.
have you seen how many they will build?
Um, I heard. I think they're gonna build. Someone said something like 888 of each, or is that
Yeah,
right?
yeah, each. So yeah, one
That's
thousand
too many
seven
Looney
hundred.
Tunes. There's more Looney
Yeah,
Tunes than Rick and Morty. It's too many.
that's a lot of limits, but we don't know the prices yet, and we don't know the game layout. Maybe it's a cool game. We don't know it yet. I mean,
Yeah,
maybe
but like
if it's
again,
a
like
killer game.
look. If I tell you Back to the Future, you're like, I do even need to see it. If I tell you
I'm not
Rocky
that.
Four, do you need to see
Oh,
it?
Rocky Four! I will give 15,000
If
for Rocky
if
Four.
I told you, Karate Kid or Predator or Total Recall, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh,
exactly. Like,
something with great
look at
music
your
for me.
reaction. And Jenkins, if I walked into a bar and said, "Hey, man, what about Looney Tunes pinball? Huh? How down are you for that?" You'd be like,
But but Chris, for location, Looney Tunes for location is a great
but
theme.
look again. But everybody knows that spooky pins on location don't really go together, because they might need a little bit more lifting of the hood, and they're not as bulletproof as a Stern Pro. And here's the thing:
No.
if I'm a if I'm an operator, a Stern Pro, what, to your door is what, $6,200, and the moment you plug it in, you're making money, and
Yeah.
you only had to write a check for 6,200. You're gonna put a $12,000 Elton John on location, and you got 2 years before you're gonna get to the same point monetarily that you would with
I'm
the
telling you,
Stern
my,
Pro.
my, my brother is a operator here. We have a lot of locations. I'm telling you, everything depends on the theme. He bought Guardians of the Galaxy, and I was like, no, man, it's an old game. And he was like, no, 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 it's a great theme. Put out on location. It's making so much money. People loves the films, and it's the theme. They
Yep.
don't care about it has got tail sweep, whatever ramp, something, something. People don't care. It's the theme. Toy Story 4 making money. It's the theme. It's for an operator. Theme is everything.
Yeah.
Nothing else.
Yeah.
Nothing else. So I
Yeah.
think Texas Chainsaw, that's not the best theme for an operator, but for
Well,
the
it's also
private
like it's
collector,
the same thing as Halloween, though. It's like these horror movies in which the villain doesn't really talk, right? They just pop out of the shadows, with a knife or a chainsaw. That's not, to me, that's like, it's hard to kind of pull you into those kinds of films, because, it's like the movies are designed to scare you. The
yeah.
pinball machine is not scary. It's like the entire desired effect. Like people keep saying, "Oh, I saw someone's making a Saw pinball machine." Saw is a great movie because of how it scares you, right? Like
Yeah,
what's that movie? Where it's Paranormal Activity. Is that the one with like the security cameras that they made like 10 of them?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Or like you can't do that with a pinball machine, you know? So even though like I just think scary movies in general don't make for great pins. It's just my but that's why like Nightmare on Elm Street works because Freddy is such an animated
Talks.
character and has all those
Yeah,
funny lines and you know and like
yeah.
it's like campy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. I just hope this time that the audio package is good because the idea of Michael Myers and all that, I was hyped, but when I listened to the audio, just screaming, for me, audio is like it's not even 50%. For me, audio when I play Indiana Jones, I'm in another world. It's so that's why I play wrestling. You hate wrestling, but when I turn Cena, I'm in another
Yeah.
world. I hope the audio part is great on this one. Let's see what's gonna happen, my
Yeah,
friend.
yeah, yeah.
Let's see.
I just
Yeah,
don't think I think this will be their softest selling ever on launch day. I just don't see, you know,
but
sellouts
that's because the
happening.
market is soft.
Yeah, the market's soft. People are just gonna wait it out because it's also like, you know, at 888 at like most, you know, most of them are gonna be collector's editions at 9 or 10K a pop. You're gonna be able to get one easily. You'll be able to get one for less than MSRP in just a few months. And you know, and also like a lot other stuff is coming out that people have to start paying for. Jaws is going to be one. Pulp Fiction is going to be one. You know, there's
Yeah,
other
yeah.
surprise games coming out that I know about. There's Back to the Future coming out at the end of the year. You know, everyone's just kind of like, all right, like, do I really need Looney Tunes? Do I need Looney Tunes so bad that I'm willing to lose $2,000 or $3,000, or do I just wait for Back to the Future?
But to be honest, I really hope they sell. I really hope they sell out because, you know, Buck. I as a person, I just love him and his friend running this Luke. Just I just there's just something lovable about those guys, right?
Yeah, yeah, no,
Usually, I
totally. Like
mean,
there's such
we
great.
sell all the games here except Spooky,
The thing I love
and
more
that's
than
because
Luke and Bug, and look, I love Luke and Bug, and I love Spooky. I love money more. And I again, like, if you're gonna want me to part with my hard-earned money, it just has to check every box now. Again, this hobby's changed, Jengiz. Like Spooky games used to be $6,500. All right, you know, Stern LEs were
yeah,
7,500. Like Chicago
yeah.
Gaming Company actually shipped games. Like Jersey Jack was making, you know, loaded wide body games for 7,500, $8,500. Like this hobby's changed. And, you
I
know,
think the
and not for
Black
the
Arrow
better.
edition, Hobbit Black Arrow, it was 6,500, and they couldn't sell them. It was just so cheap, so
We
much game for your money.
we all like every Pirates of the Caribbean CE was sitting in a box for a year for 12.5. And then at the height of COVID, one sold for $40,000 new in box. Right.
Yeah,
And once that starts happening, you know, it's like it's jumped the shark a little bit. And like the problem now is all these like 10,000 being the new normal for everything.
yeah.
It's just got more and more people saying, I'm done. I'm done. Like, you know, and the reason
Your
why a lot of
ten
people are,
thousand, your 10,000 is my 14,000.
yeah, it's
Remember
crazy.
that?
Well, I don't, yeah. You know, when you talk about Europe and Australia, it's a whole nother like level of
Yeah.
ludicrous, you know, and so you know, I think people are also like, I'm looking at you right now. I'm like, most people have already great machines in their homes that they don't even play, that they like, they can't even possibly enjoy most of what they already own. Why would you need more? Like this
This
whole,
is my storage. I don't play these games. It's just
yeah.
storage.
The new flex in the world is more about simplicity and enjoying the enjoying with what the few things you have, not showing off the overabundance of
Oh.
stuff. It's just I think that's the new reality. And again, for me personally, I just would rather have more money in the bank than pins sitting in a living room. Like because again, like a few pins you love, what more do you need? And for one to take a spot away from one that you love, it has to be amazing. I think that's also where people are at. Like for one to go in, one has to go out. So for Looney
But
Tunes
Chris,
to come
I
in,
have the bug. I'm not like you. I have the bug. Sometimes when I wake up, I'm like, I need to play some Totem.
Yeah.
I need to flip. I have some people are like that. You don't have it. You haven't had
No,
a
I mean, no,
pinball for like
when I
2
had
years.
Batman, when I had pins in my apartment, I played them all the
Yeah.
time. I mean, I played every day.
Okay.
Like
It's cool,
it
man.
was cool to just spend like a couple hours on a Saturday when, I had the apartment to myself and just go through Batman, get to a wizard mode, like get to Batusi mode. Like it was fun. Like I can't wait to set that game up. I mean, I can't wait to play GNR, and be able to do
Yeah.
it in a way where I can do it right, with loud volume and, no
Yeah,
neighbors
it's
knocking on the door.
awesome, man.
People don't get about New York City apartments is, when I used to have Lord of the Rings and the shaker motors, the woman below me would just be banging on her ceiling with a broomstick because it's a pinball machine's loud. It's like even if you turn off the shaker motor, it's gonna go through the walls of your
Yeah,
neighbors and the ceilings, and like it's
feeling.
not fun to have to play it, in a reduced way because of that. But look, all that's happening. We're house hunting in the spring. We'll find a house. We're gonna get the pins set up. If you
I
didn't
hope
like me
so.
without pins, get ready for you to see my flipper skills, people. Finishing last at every tournament around the country.
Yeah. Chris, keep it positive, okay? Concentrate
Absolutely.
about all the good positive stuff. And it is what it is, nothing to do. And I have talked to Colin and he says to me that this ship has sailed, so they won't open up. It is what it is. So let's just enjoy Spooky's games tomorrow. Okay. Make a
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
positive
totally.
review. Be positive. Okay. Filled with love.
Absolutely.
That's what we all love. Okay.
All right, brother.
We should talk for 20 minutes. This is like 45.
Yeah, yeah.
Have a great one. Okay.
All right, you too,
Bye.
brother. All right, bye.